Hey guys, you know, some old wise fella once said that when life throws you lemons, you gotta make lemonade. I don't know about all that, but check out this lemon. Well, the unfortunate situation that I'm referring to happened this day when I was out fishing. There was a whole bunch of mullet out there. That was actually pretty cool. Look at them all out there. Watch this. Yeah, I was excited. And I had live bait with me, and I fully intended on catching a big old snook. What I wound up catching, though, was a little bit different. I had my Matsuo 6'6" spinning rod. It's like a supposed to be a medium action, but it's a real light rod. And watch this. Watch this fish come up and eat that greenback. Caught me when I wasn't looking, too. Look at this. Fish on. I wish I had my barrel pole. Oh boy. Yeah, buddy. My immediate fear was that this fish was going to pull me into the trees. And if it was a big snook, pulling hard like that, it would have to be a really big fish. But then it came to the surface. Oh man, really? I realized that this was a Jack Crevalle, not a snook. So not being my targeted species, I decided I'm going to horse this guy in. That was obviously not one of my best ideas. Let's look at that again. Yep, I'm gonna miss that rod. Well, I didn't let that get me down. I took that lemon and I tried to make lemonade out of it. Well, I paddled back home and I intended on trying to fix that rod. I had a pretty good idea what I could do with it. But first, I wanted to try a new type of bait. I had brought back some oysters from that trip. Here you can see me breaking them apart to find the good parts on the inside that you can use as bait. And you see, they're pretty slimy. They're real hard to keep on a hook. Here's the bounty I collected from all those shells. And all the parts that I'm not going to use, I put into a bag, and I'll be bringing that out onto the water as chum. Now, to make these little pieces of oyster a little bit more usable for bait, I'm using these, they're like nylon, almost like stocking swatches that somebody sent me. Thank you, Richie. The idea is that you take little portions of any kind of gooey bait, whether it's fish eggs or whatever you're using for bait that won't stay on a hook, and you encapsulate it in this little mesh bag. With this one I probably could have gotten more than one bait out of that little square of nylon, but this is my first time doing it. I'm not that good at it yet. There I'm using elastic thread. You just need to wrap it around there a couple of times and then just pull it tight. It breaks and you don't have to even tie a knot. And what it leaves you with is this little sack with oyster material on the inside of it. That should make really good bait. Here I am trying it again with a bigger piece. I made some little ones, I made some big ones. A lot of people out there think that big bait equals big fish. I'm not really beholden to that idea, but I figured I'd give it a shot nonetheless. Once you wrap them up, trim off that excess, and look at that. That looks like it's going to stay on a hook really good. So I gathered up all my little oyster balls, and I headed out to the bridge, where I had a very good idea that there'd be somebody there eager to munch on them. Well, I brought my broken Matsuo rod with me, and a few tools. I intended on cutting this down and reattaching it to make a dock rod out of it. I thought that the front part of the rod would slip into the little hole there. But that little hole was too small, so I was just going to have to overlap them and use a little duct tape. Gotta love duct tape. There you go. Good as new. And before I rig it up, I took all those oyster shells and dumped them in between the pylons there. That should be like ringing the dinner bell. This is what I was going to rig up. A number 1 circle hook and a big old split shot. And then use those little oyster chunks for bait. You see how a short rod fits in between those pylons really nice. And there it is, the rod lives. Well, you know, it's a little tiny fish, but I'm still catching fish with that rod. Bait seems to be working too. Put another piece of oyster on there and drop it down. And then... oh well. Seems if you get a decent sized fish, duct tape and fiberglass and all that, didn't work so well. Ah, me. At least the bait works. I was getting hits right away with these little oyster baits. I couldn't keep the fish off of them. Unfortunately, I brought along a spare rod. I love this little short rod. And it handles bigger fish just fine. There's a nice one right there. This guy's gonna be coming home for dinner. And I am really liking this new bait. So even though I lost a fishing rod, I gained a new technique to catch fish. Easy come, easy go. So, it seems like I wasn't able to completely eliminate that last lemon, but at least I caught a fish, and now I know what to do with that lemon. So don't forget, everybody, don't let life get you down, and if it does, just go fishing. That's pretty neat, huh? So remember, when life throws you lemons, what you got to do is cut them in half this way, and then stick a fork in there, and you'll get as much juice as you can out of each piece. Thanks for watching, guys.